They're here to battle. I mean, they were struggling yesterday, so I guess it's decent strategy. We saw it over on EU. We had a team roll up. The one game they dropped Stark, they won it and got a 15 elimination victory royale. So this strategy not completely out of the blue. This is the drop if you need to have an entirely different day 2.
What a shakeup do we have here. 6th place team down and out of the competition for game 1 of 6 on the second day. That is the worst way to kick off your tournament run. Not only that, leading into the competition, you talk about the social media atmosphere. It was already in the air. He already had a feeling coming into this. So with that, and then getting dropped off the rip, that is such a major setback.
We've already got another team creeping in, though, because they would have seen that, right? If you see Booger, Jamper, and Avery in the feed all going down as Pledge, they've come back and Pledge gets the sniper shot out of the sky to take Furious out. This is your wildcard team. This is the team that popped off when they needed to most, and now they're showing up here today. Connor, Gage, and Pledge drop at the lake house nearby. This could be really big for their team, Monster. They get to come in late and take all of this loot to themselves. If this is uncontested, there's no way they can roll up and win it, but they've got a really good shot right now. And we also have Sap, Stretch, and Zayt. Okay, this drop, okay, NA East is already so different to what anyone would have predicted. This is changing things up in the biggest way.
I mean, and Sap, Stretch, and Zayt have been known to do this. They will drop on this spot every now and again just to mix things up, but they seem like they can sense the blood in the water. They are the sharks coming in to try and sweep things up. It's not looking too good for Connor, Pledge, and Gage here, who just did get a knock, but I mean, to have one of the other greats come on in, Stretch and company have to do a big deal. They even get security of the Vault keycard. Way to kick it off.
That's what I was about to say. Have you ever seen in a region as competitive as NA East, or any region really, that a team would get double Vault? They've got the Doom's Domain Vault and Stark Vault. So if we talked about it, right? Zayt's team has come out in qualifying weeks and they won the first game of all 3 weeks. They're looking to do that here again today. They didn't have the performance we wanted yesterday. They started today in 16th. They have all the loot they could ever need. And now we have Zypher and Nosh rolling up. And we have Calc, Zexo, and Macwood. I don't even know. Did somebody tell these guys that it's grand finals? This isn't an arena match. What is happening?
This has to be a joke right now. Stretch is going to body Zypher here in a 1v1 box fight. Sap already has a knock as well, so it's looking very, very good in their favor.
Any of these teams with this massive loot superiority could easily take down the TNA or XSET team just with that extra potential. So this is going to be so big going forward. And this isn't the last game. This wasn't like, you know, your last ditch attempt to try and bring it back game 5 or 6. This is game 1 of day 2, and it's already this crazy.
All right, looks like XSET heard there was news of a party up at the Stark Industries, and they're beelining their way towards the cliff as well. Another team getting ever so much closer. This, I mean...
And if they pull out, does Zayt's team show up and Booger's team already has the loot? There's just so many little interactions that can now flesh their way out because there's 5 more games after this. You can usually pull off a cheeky strategy once, but these teams are top caliber. They will learn and they will react instantly. And next game, their whole gameplay would have changed. As we see XSET though, on the exact same game plan that we know works. They had such a good day 1. It was only literally game 6 where things kind of dropped off. They took a mid-game fight against Team New Age and they lost it. If it wasn't for that, they would have undoubtedly been in first place.
Scented has got the lead on it, but 79 damage below. 6 seconds, Aussie. 6 seconds to find damage, or the pressure is going to be on, and the advantage is out the window.
And 12 players have to go down. This is going to be a ridiculous top. Sorry, not 12. Sorry, 21 players have to go down. 21. My bad. I forgot just how stacked NA East is. So I'm getting stumbled here. Commandment, they need to find this damage. That's all you need to know at home. They have to see that number on the right go to above. They need to do 154 damage, and that's why they're playing so desperate. They go into the box and the big shot, but Commandment's so low. He's literally 1 health. They're completely wiped. That's our top 3 team. That's our 3rd place team completely wiped off the face of this map instantly. And that's what Storm Surge does. It forces teams to be aggressive. You can't just rotate and hide, and that is such a massive upset. AV's now down. That's 2nd place. We saw eliminations going over onto 3rd place, completely wiped. A team down from 5th place. So many teams are now wounded coming into this endgame, and the only one that I'm seeing get through completely unscathed
100%. And guys, just to give you guys an indicator, this is the closest region of the day. There's only a couple points separating those top teams. So when we say NA East has been intense, that entire day 1 atmosphere was so close. It is a huge toss-up here for day 2. And I mean, 2nd place being shambles out, 3rd place being crossed out of the competition, and 4th on a rampage right now. That is going to change things up. Day, Mirror, and Reverse 2Ks position on first place is not safe by any means. This is a huge fight for them right now. They're taking it, and Day's gonna get punished big time. And no, he has to back up.
And this is why it's safe for nobody, because the caliber of players in this lobby, at any time you can see your first place team go down, and they just got a really, really unfortunate zone monster. That was a complete opposite pull, half-half, and it's going quite a fair bit over the water. This is a team that needs to step up. Zate, Saf, and Stretch, we know they can win games. They went all of yesterday without winning any, which is just completely unheard of for this team. Now they've gotten Doom's Vault and Stark's Vault. There is no excuse for why this team can't perform here on the day, because they have to show up now. 3 points, but they came in on 16th. These are your star-studded veterans, and they need to show why they're still at the top of their game.
Let's see if they can pull off what they normally tend to pull off. Is a game 1 victory, because they need it more than anyone. One of the hottest teams coming into this, one of the most dominant teams that was held down yesterday. We don't even know what really went wrong for them, but there was something in the mid game that just wasn't clicking. If they pull off a phenomenal 6-game streak, now that Booga, Avery, and Jamper are all contested on the draw spot, they could make one of the biggest comebacks we've ever seen, and that's a huge knock right there onto Kraz. Stretch is going to go ahead and fill that up, and Kaz is down and out. 4 eliminations for this trio. Very, very good.
Yeah, if anyone can make a monumental comeback like that, it's this team. They do it on the back of consistent wins. We said it yesterday. This team is wins or nothing. So what probably went wrong was they just didn't get those crucial little decisions like this in the mid game that set you up for the end game. As Stretch is now getting sprayed out. He's down to 18 health. He has the splashes. He has the big pots. As long as he gets away from this, he should be okay. And just like that, Saf instantly jumps into the line of fire and starts holding the builds for him. And this is what this team does best. It's the trust. It's the chemistry. They back each other up at all costs. They win together or they go down together. There's next to no solo clutching when it comes to this team.
That was the perfect way to put it. Literally, Saf jumped out from the second and third layers there just to get in front of the line of fire. Saf is the pivotal type of teammate unit. He is the peak teammate on this squad. He is always there to back up Zate or Stretch in their toughest times. I think he is the key to this team's success. And right now, Saf's looking like he's set up for it. Stretch, though, leading the rotate out with Zate right now in front. Saf right behind them. What is it going to turn out to be here? As High Ground's looking to put some pressure up. If he hits this snipe, that can open up a lot of things for this team.
And that's it. They're a high team right now, and I think they want to go for it. But unless Zade's got some shockwaves or something I'm not seeing, Saf and Stretch have a great loadout, but it's not a high loadout as they get split now. That rotation went a little bit astray right now. Saf's got the legendary pump, though, so if he has to work his way through the low and mid ground, he's one to be able to do it. And you see this right here. This is what I mean by them not being solo players. He doesn't even use his meds. He takes down Ledger D, and I saw TNA, and my heart dropped for a second. It is Ledger D, though, but I was going to say Saf doesn't even pop his meds, monster. He is so prioritized on getting back to his team that he'll try to do it with 26 health rather than stay away from them.
That's a veteran if you've ever seen one right there. Knows how to stick with the team hip to hip with the players, and it works out best. And right there, the fundamentals being the key to success right now. Awesome. All of a sudden now, pressure coming in from all the layers here. Saf's still on the hunt. There's players behind the wall, though. Can he find another one? Oh boy, it's getting very, very interesting now.
And I'm seeing Miro in the feed, and I'm also seeing Zuni's in the feed. So that's your first and third place team. Miro in the feed again. So Team New Age has proven that day one wasn't a fluke. They're here to show up again. But Saf trying to do something on the low ground, and you can't count this team out. And this is a position we haven't had the joy of seeing them in, Monster. We always see them on height. Let's see if they can have the same strategies as XSET and TNA, where they can work the bottom as well as the top. And just like that, of course, Saf can. The big 200 pump from the legendary, but no, the finish off is too slow, and he gets caught in the back. But Stretch and Zate are still in this, and they've got some good eliminations as we have an entirely new team on the high ground.
100%. This wide shot, though, does show Team TNA in the mid ground, still alive right now. As Simple YT's going to wrap up a couple elims on the side. Clicks, Bizzo, and Illis do have that high ground hold, and it looks like a strong one. This is the traditional hold from this trio right here. Clicks way up above, comfortable, out of sight, out of pressure from anyone else. On the other perspective, Kanata, Bucky, Creo, can they make a comeback? Such a strong qualifying week one, leading into two, but all of a sudden they fizzled out. They were out of the competition ever since then. Can they make this a big day two comeback?
They have to make it a big comeback. They need big points, and that's it. They don't just need the placement, they need some eliminations too. So I really want to see Illis do what Illis does best and drop down and start finding those angles, because this team's coming in just inside top 20. They haven't had the usual performance, but as I say that, Riverstone starting to make his way up. Mega and Dubs hanging out there as well. This is two teams that needed to show up big on day two, as Kanata also in the low ground. So right now, we have a couple of our top teams up, but this is really a redemption story right now. All the teams that just underperformed yesterday, trying to start off day 2 completely different, and Clix is doing just that. He capitalizes, takes down Stretch, and that is Zate's team out of this as they're looking so dominant, but we've seen teams win this from the mid-ground. I'm seeing Dubs, Megas, and Riversan look so healthy to take this.
They're definitely sitting there. They're waiting. Clix is going to get a little close to this team, as is Illis. They're going for the box fight. The Shockwaves are going to come out. Riverson challenges height, and Bizzle gets bodied. Riverson wins the high ground. Back to the low, though. The story continues. Kanata, Creo, Bucky, 9th place coming into this. All of a sudden, a huge game like this, at 10 eliminations, Aussie, they can propel themselves way up the standings, but first place is still here to play, too. This is not looking too good, but still, they are set up for success.
This was 3 full trios. This is the most exciting thing you can ask for. The 28 shot, it's not heavy, but it's enough, and Illis goes down, and this might be Bucky, Creo, and Kanata. They might be doing this right now. I think they have every advantage. They have the splashes, and they have the bandage cannon on Kanata. They have full heal-off potential, and with the way this zone is going, it could be just that. Kanata's dropping the splashes, though. He's not holding on to him. They're not going for the heal-off. At least Kanata isn't anyway. I'm waiting for a bounce pad, but he has no build, and that's it. Clix goes down there. Bucky, Creo, and Kanata come back in the biggest way, and what a redemption story for this game 1. All the big teams that needed to come back have done just that.
In first, we've still got Daymiro and Reverse after all the games. These guys actually popped off that game. They're performing very well up until the end game, still with 0 victory royales in first place. If we move over to our next page, 6th to 10th, we've seen, some of the same names on this page, kind of just performing from that first game. Slacks, Acorn, and Jack, doing okay in the game there, but